Hey everybody, it's SakaeCFV here today, and I'm doing a deck profile of Riviere Bermuda Triangle deck with the Legion Rising Star Trios right here. Yeah, I wanted to make this deck profile before I made anything else because I haven't actually seen a deck profile of Trios at all. And a lot of people were asking about deck profiles and deck lists for this deck, and I just thought it would be pretty convenient if I just made one right now. So yeah, here it is. Also, I find this deck is really hard to play, and it's not suited for a lot of people. So if you're prepared for the challenge, then yeah, go for it, because this deck is not easy. But this deck is very cheap, so there's not a lot of risks to making it and then, you know, doing whatever with it. So yeah, I encourage people to try it. Very high skill curve, but very high payoff. Anyways, getting right into the deck. Riviere Grade 0 ride chain. So when the Grade 1 rides over this unit, you get to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and choose the Grade 2 or the Grade 3 and put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck after. If anything other than the Grade 1 version of Riviere rides over this becomes a Forerunner, so it can move anywhere on the field. It's only a 4,000 booster, so it really lacks power. You don't want this as a rear guard. But it's okay, because we have things that bounce it to our hand, and then it becomes a free 10k shield. So it's perfectly fine. For our trigger lineup, I run like a bunch of different art. So for our draws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 draw triggers. Let me turn off the monitor. 6 draw triggers. I like the draws in this deck. I think it's absolutely mandatory because Trios requires 3 discard, and draw triggers make perfect, very nice discard targets, as well as letting us draw into things that we can also discard. So yeah, I feel like discard draw triggers are absolutely necessary in this deck. Yeah, I want to run more, but we still need the pressure of our crits. Let me just focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 critical triggers. Critical triggers just add a lot of pressure to the game, and for every critical trigger you flip, it speeds up the game by probably like 1 or 2 turns. So it's really good. Flipping crits early is always a good thing, but I don't like to run that many crits because they don't make for very good discard targets when you're playing a restanding Vanguard. Because they're 10k shields, you want to keep them for guarding, so you don't want to really discard them. But again, like I'm running 7 because they're really good. It adds too much pressure, and there's nothing really else to run, because standing in this deck, stand triggers in this deck, they don't work at all, because you always attack with your Vanguard first. Yeah, so yeah. And 3 heals. Healing in this format is not very good in my opinion. Being at 4 damage is the same as being at 5 damage, because everything has an extra critical. Some prime examples are Core, Glare, Yggdrasil, Mega Flare, Sinbuster, Break Ride. They all have an extra critical on top, and they all hit for extremely high numbers. So it doesn't matter if you're at 4 or if you're at 5. You're just gonna die if you take it anyways. But yeah, that's why I don't like to run 4 heals anymore. 3 heals is still a great number because you heal, you still heal a good amount early game. And that's the only time you really want to heal. Especially in this deck, when you're running the entire Grade 3 lineup uses Counterblast, so top idol uses 2, and Trios uses 3. That, if you do the math, it's 5, because 3 plus 2 equals 5, right? Guys, I'm smart, right? So you want 5 open damage in order to pop off both of their skills at once. There's no point in healing later in the game, so I took 1 out. 1 doesn't make too much of a difference, but I feel like it made enough of a difference that it changes the games, or it changes the deck quite a bit. Yeah. Crap, I wanted to do Kura last, but whatever. 1, 2, 3 Kuras, because again, we use up like a ton of counter blasts, so we need a ton of unflippers. So we run 3 instead of, we don't run 4 because 4 is just excessive. We just don't have the soul in order to support 4. But 3 is a perfect number because we re-legion quite a few times in one game, so it's good. So yeah, I run just 3. There are also 5Ks, so you only want to put this behind Vanguard. There are certain times when you will put this behind Rearguard. That's why we run Flute, or I run Flute, because 11K plus 5 is 16. Again, I'm good at math. 3 Perle. Main pressure card. When this is placed on the field, you can give Perla the ability to soul charge 1 and draw 1 when this attack hits a Vanguard. So yeah, I'll go over Perla after and then I'll pull out this card. But yeah, main pressure. 4 perfect cards. I haven't had the time to pick up like the fancy duels, so I'm gonna replace 2 of them when I can. And then have 4 of them. I'm not running quintets because no. Just no. Counterblast, no. Milo, no. Grade 1 Riviere. When this rides over the grade 0 again, you get to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and choose a grade 2 Riviere or the grade 3 Riviere and put it to your hand. So it's an easy +1. When the grade 2 version rides over this, you get to draw 1 card. So again, easy +1s. For the grade 2s, run the 4 Riviere. I have 1 proxy, sorry. But when you ride this one over the grade 1, you get to draw a card. But when the grade 3 rides over this one, you also get to draw a card. It's also cross ride, so the entire chain ride is a cross ride. With the grade 1, if you have the grade 0 in the soul, this becomes 8k, so you can easily guard against a lot of things. Same with this one. So if you have the grade 1 in soul, this becomes a 10k. So again, very easy to guard against a lot of things. You're gonna force them to start putting boosters behind their Vanguard, or else they won't be able to put the early pressure, and you can just drop 10k shields for no pass really early in the game. Which is really good, because then you can start taking Vanguard hits later in the game when they have double drive checks, and their Vanguards are stronger. You can start no guarding when they're stronger, and then guard when they're weaker. Yeah, it's really nice. I run 3 flutes right here. Again, 1 proxy because I don't have it yet. 11k beaters, mainly to make 16k columns with Kura. That's the only reason why. Only reason. And the other reason is we don't have 12k attackers for Riviere. It's dumb, but we don't have 12k attackers. So yeah. And then we run 4 Perla. Again, pressure plays with Perle. When this is placed on the field, you can select up to 1 Perla and give her effect. But when Perla hits, you can Soul Blast 1 and bounce 1 card to your hand. So if you play these 2 and they let it hit, her effect goes off and you get to draw a card, and then her effect goes off where you get to bounce this back to your hand. Next turn, you can just play it again and give the effect again, and then they have to keep dealing with these. So yeah, there's not a time when they don't have to deal with these, because unless they can pop your back row, anytime that this hits, you will be able to bounce this and then you'll play it next turn. But if say you play it and they don't let it hit, it's still there. So they still have to deal with this, and if they don't deal with this, they're gonna pop this back to your hand and then they're gonna play it again. And then you have to deal with the same thing over and over again. It's just the main pressure is it's really, really strong. And it makes them drop a lot of cards. Grade 3s, I run just the 4 tops, Idol Riviere, and the 4 trios. Riviere, when she rides over the grade 2, you get to draw a card. She's also a cross ride, so she's 11k. So it's fine if you ride her first. Her other skill is a Persona Blast, Canada Blast 2, and ditch a card named Top Idol Riviere. When this attack hits a Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose 3 of your Bermuda Triangle rear guards, and those units get plus 5k until the end of the turn. So that's 15k total power that you're distributing towards your board. Again, when you do that, and you give it to Perla and Perle, that's 26k column that when it hits, you can Soul Blast 1, draw 1, Soul Charge 1, bounce 1. It's insane. You get a lot of pluses. So it's perfectly fine if you ride this first. Perfectly fine. And then for trios, she's pretty much like the main because she is a Legion. But her first skill is Canada Blast 3. Choose 3 cards from your hand and discard them. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked the Vanguard, you may pay the cost if this is in the Legion, and then you can stand all of your Vanguards. So restanding Vanguard, extremely good, extreme pressure. And then she also Legions with Top Idol, of course, for 21k damage. So just keep that in mind. You can always attack with this unboosted, and it still hits numbers. Her last skill, if she rides over the grade 2 Riviere, Super Idol Riviere, you can search your deck for up to 1 Top Idol Riviere, so the grade 3 one, and reveal it and put it in your hand. So yeah, we always get free +1s. So with this one, we get to draw 1. With this one, we get to search for 1. It just sets up a lot of situations for them. Because if you search for this, then they know that you have a Persona Blast in your hand. So they might not let it hit. But if they don't let it hit, you can discard your grade 3 and instantly get a free shield to your hand because grade 3s can't guard, right? Yeah, it makes a lot of good plays. So yeah, that's my deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everything you can change in this deck. This deck is very customizable. Everything that you saw here today was is pretty much customized to how I like to play this deck. And yeah, everything you can change. Same with the trigger lineups. If you like to run 4 heals, 4 draws, 8 crits, you can do that. It's perfectly fine. Everything is up to you. This is just how I feel the deck is really optimal. The performance is at its peak with this trigger lineup, with this deck. That's why I like to run it like this. A lot of people run this deck with the Duo engine in mind. So they run like Roan and Lulu and Peace, and they use those engines to draw a lot of their cards. I personally don't like it because the ride chain just gives you everything for free and you don't have to work for it. Whereas the Duo engine in this deck, you have to work for a lot of your pluses, and it just doesn't feel natural. So yeah. Also the cross rides, the cross ride chain all the way up to 3 saves you a lot of damage because you have a 8k grade 1, you have a 10k grade 2, and 11k grade 3. So everything is fine. Like you get to guard with easy 10k shields. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My battery is about to run out in about 10 seconds. So yeah, look forward to future videos. I'm probably gonna do one for Genesis Witches soon, and maybe an EV2 unboxing because I need some extra cards. Anyways, have a nice day, guys. Talk to you later.